Have you ever been paralyzed by the fear of failure in doing a project, starting a new business, or even a side hustle? Guys, my name is Christian, and today we're talking about how you can build success in your life. Particularly, I'm going to be focusing this around motivation for entrepreneurs. So without further ado, let's get into the J curve. So before I begin this video right here, I just want to say this video is inspired by a number of people who have recently been telling me about their experiences in their own small businesses. And it's been really interesting because it seems to be a reoccurring theme where a lot of people are paralyzed by the fear of failure in their own business, whether it be starting a new project or whether it be starting that side hustle into a full-time employment gig. So I want to walk you through the potential pathway that could occur once you start doing these things. But this can apply to your general everyday life. It doesn't necessarily have to be starting a new business. It could be starting a new project. It could be starting a new hobby. It could be anything. So it's really important that the messages you take on board can be applied generally. So when we have a look at this is called a J curve. So for any of you who are in private equity or you know a little bit about investments, you'll see that there's actually the J just here. So why are we talking about the J curve? Well, the J curve is really important because the J curve in finance and investment talks about the deviation to success parameters. And let me go through that with you and show you how that applies in everyday life. So when you're doing your normal routine in your life, you're going along this trajectory here. And then what we do is we have what's called a deviation in what you've done. When you decide to take on a new project or start something new, that's the deviation occurring here. What you would otherwise be doing is continuing along this trajectory. And that would continue on if you didn't make that change. But a lot of the time, when people start a new project, they start to have worries or doubts, or they run into some problems in their project. It's very common when starting a new business, new enterprise, that people are worried about what they're doing. Is it correct? Am I doing the right thing? Am I reaching my customer or my target audience? Am I ever going to, build up that project? Am I going to get that success that I want out of it? So a lot of people measure that against the success they already know, what they have in their everyday life. And what they actually see is a decline. So they measure themselves against the decline of their own success. And this comes down to mindset. A lot of people have the mindset, well, I had this success, but now I have this success. What do the people around me think? What am I doing wrong? Why have I done this? What people don't realize is it's simply a mindset factor. What you're looking at is making the change to learn from things, learn the appropriate new skills or the appropriate way to deal with that particular situation. So this is not necessarily a failure. Yeah, it is simply your personal mindset adjusting to the new situation, learning the new mindset, the new situation. And then this is where people have a tendency to let go because they want to get back to this success. So they will drop this project and head back into that normal pattern. That's what most people who start a new venture will end up going through. But for those who can continue to do that, they will continue to then grow on a trajectory back up again. And this is where you have the change come in. So the second half of that is the change there. So all of this is not actually lost. People miscommonly say that this, is lost success. What this actually is the growth period. So for most people, they talk about the change period, but what's actually happening here is you're growing. This is the learning curve that you go through when people talk to you about starting a new business. That is the growth period just there. So now that you've had this growth period, the change, then most people are able to move into the next period, which is the improvement or success. And that happens from that point onwards. That's where the growth and success period is able to occur. And progressively you continue over time. Now this is really important because you can actually continue to have a J curve like that, which you'll continue to go that trajectory. And it's really important to understand that. If you think of yourself as a stock, right? And you continue to learn new skills and have this growth, as long as you continue to have this upward trajectory, it doesn't really matter that you have little divots along the way. You know, any entrepreneur will tell you that there's always going to be a period of doubt. There's always going to be a period where things don't go to plan. And that's exactly what these are. These are the times where things didn't go to plan, but you grew, you adapted, you learned about how to succeed in that environment. And as entrepreneurs, this is the most important experience for us, because having that skill set to actually learn how to grow allows us to adapt and adapt more quickly. So when you do have this, maybe the next time you have this success, you're coming off your success and you come down, but you actually succeed a lot faster. So you actually continue to have that growth period, but you have it in a more succinct time, because you know the skills, you know how to succeed, you know that this period here is the growth period. You've invested in yourself, you've invested, take the investment of others around you in the form of mentors or information or advice, and you've actually used that to your advantage to continue your success. And that's a really important thing. The J curve shows the success, yeah? But the problem is to make sure we don't normalize out and go back to where we were, because that trajectory is only ever so slightly upwards in most cases. If we're truly to succeed, then we need to invest in ourselves. We need to back ourselves and make sure that we put the effort in through that growth period to ensure our success. And the progress is the most important thing here. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've got something out of this. If you did, please make sure you give us a like and subscribe below.